Hi there, Namaskara, a very warm welcome to Universal Group of Institutions. I am Nitika Duggal, Chemistry faculty at Universal College teaching BSc, and today I have come up with a very important topic which can be asked in KS mains exam. The topic revolves around energy resources, India's renewable energy potential and challenges. So the topic that we are catering to, addressing to is this part of the syllabus, paper 4 GS, in which you have this entire topic. You have to know India's energy scenario, everything that's happening right now, and what is planned for future. We need to know the importance of the renewable resources like solar, wind, small mini micro hydel plants, biomass, the waste-based plants, geothermal energy, tidal, hydrogen, and fuel cells economy as well. So we need to dive into the renewable sources deeply because you know that if we talk about coal, which is used in thermal power plants, the coal is an exhaustible energy resource, so it's not sustainable. India as a nation needs sustainability, hence this topic becomes very, very important. So the question can be framed in different manners, like what you would see is the body of the question would change, but the soul of the question would remain the same. It will revolve around the renewable resources of our country. Okay, so let's say one of the questions that can be asked is this. Discuss the current energy scenario in India with a focus on the importance of renewable energy resources. Highlight the challenges and opportunities in harnessing renewable energy for sustainable development. The game is all about the sustainability, and this can be asked for 20 marks and you have to write your answer in 300 words. Okay, so what all can go in your answer? Let's bring the soul to your answer by understanding everything that should go in such a question. All right, let's get started. So when it comes to the current energy scenario of India, we are still very much dependent on the exhaustible resources. Like I said, coal, which is used in thermal power plants. Still, 55% of the energy requirements are met from the thermal power plants. Okay, and the rest, there is an energy mix that we use where solar panels are used, the tidal energy, wind energy, etc. are used, right? So certainly there is a growing demand of the sustainability. And when it comes to why do we have to depend on the renewable energy resources, we know that when it is about the renewable, it is not going to deplete. It is kind of like unlimited. Water, the sun, the energy which is coming from the sun, which is solar energy, that's unlimited. So we have to make sure that all these resources is what we are making use of so that we can maintain the energy requirements, sustain it, and leave a better planet for the future generation. Yeah. So we need to address the climate changes and reduce the carbon footprint. We know that the devil of the hour is global warming. Carbon dioxide is one of the greenhouse gases which is increasing, elevating the temperature of the earth. This leads to so many repercussions are there, right? Because the water levels are rising. As a result, the glaciers are melting, the sea level is rising, which is leading to the relocation, the aquatic life is getting hampered. So many problems because of global warming. So this needs to be addressed. Then it enhances the energy security and reduces the dependence on the imports. Now you have seen whenever there are warlike scenarios, the first thing that gets hampered is the use of the fuel, the importing of the fuel. The money of the fuel goes up. The petrol money goes up. So all of these are a reason why we need to be self-sustainable, that even if whatever is the political scenario across the world, at least our nation stays, Bharat as a nation stays self-sustainable. Yeah. And then it has to support the sustainable economic development as well, right? If we have enough, we can export also. So it's a win-win situation. Now, when it comes to the types of renewable energy resources, This resources which, like we are saying in simple terms, which are unlimited, can be solar energy, wind energy, hydropower, biomass, geothermal energy. And in fact, I am towards the end going to talk about a very important source of energy which has become a buzzword in today's scenario. And if you put that in your answer in your exam, that will fetch you, of course, an extra attention and more marks. Okay, so we'll come to that. Stay with me till the very end. All right. Now, because we are so much interested in the renewable resources, let's try to understand what all do we need for a construction of a renewable energy power plant. Okay, for example, if we want to harness the solar energy, we would be needing solar panels. Solar panels in turn requires photovoltaic material. Right? When it comes to the wind energy, we need wind turbines. So we need to set up a plant that can have wind turbines, right? Then dam we would be requiring for hydropowers if we want to make use of the water as a resource. Then we for biomass require the waste products, the organic waste material. For tidal energy, we know there are tides in the ocean. So we need to set a plant near the ocean so that we can make use of the tidal energy coming from the ocean or sea. And if there is a volcanic source, we can make use of geothermal energy can be extracted from the volcanic sources, right? If there are volcanic eruptions. So all of these you can see, we do not have to invest in the source. All we have to invest in is the infrastructure to harness the resource. Okay, so yes, from here we can also try to understand the challenges that we have, because we need to put in infrastructure to extract, to harness these resources. All right, okay, so right now we have come way forward. The requirement of coal is decreasing day by day. We are making sure that we are switching to the renewable sources, and we have huge ambitions when it comes to the achievements that we have had so far in terms of the solar power plants, because India is a rich country where the solar energy is tremendous. We have been successful in harnessing that solar energy. The top 5 power plants that we have are, the first one, the Badla Solar Park. This Badla Solar Park is located in Rajasthan, and a whopping 2,245 megawatt of energy, of electricity is being extracted, is being harnessed from Badla Solar Park. The next one is Pavagada Solar Plant, which is in our Karnataka. It is located in Karnataka, 2050 megawatt of energy. Again, that's tremendous. The third very important power plant is in Kurnool. Kurnool is in Andhra Pradesh, and we are able to harness around 1000 megawatt of energy from here. NP Kunta Ultra Mega Solar Plant. This is again located in Andhra Pradesh, and around again 1000 megawatt has been extracted from this solar power plant. And the fifth one, Rewa Ultra Mega Solar Plant, which is located in Madhya Pradesh, from which we have 750 of megawatt of energy coming. So this clearly indicates that we have come far in our journey. We have achieved our energy requirements, and the work is still in progress. In fact, I'll tell you what, our energy requirement of 500 gigawatts, it is expected, it's an ambitious plan, not has been achieved so far, but the plan is by 2030, India shall be depending and harnessing around 500 gigawatt of energy from just the renewables resources, which is tremendous. In fact, a huge power plant has been proposed and the work is already in progress here in Ladakh. Ladakh again is, having a great source of solar energy that can be extracted, and here around 13 gigawatt of the solar energy can be fulfilled. The focus is on sustainability and the day is not far, right? Okay, now the most important one that I was talking about is the use of hydrogen as a fuel. This is being seen as being a game changer. Even very recently, Nitin Gadkari talked about the hydrogen economy, making use of hydrogen as a fuel. He said green hydrogen is the next big measure to curb pollution and to take care of the energy requirements as well. You know the simple reaction that you did in your junior classes? H2 plus O2 giving us H2O. You see the product here is H2O. So whenever you're, heating a carbon resource, say coal. So carbon is present in coal, right? Now, when you heat it, in the presence of oxygen, you get carbon dioxide. Like I said, this is a greenhouse gas. It elevates the temperature, causes global warming. But water, now let me also tell you, let me break the myth. Some students might have this misconception that water is all eco-friendly. Yeah, you're right. Water is eco-friendly, but water vapors also cause greenhouse effect. Yeah, and water vapors lead to global warming as well, but not as much as carbon dioxide. So it's relatively less greenhouse gas, but it is a greenhouse gas. So that can be also a question that can be asked in your mains exam. Which of the following is a greenhouse gas? And students miss on the fact that water vapors also contribute to the global warming, okay? But nonetheless, the other side effects of carbon dioxide, that's ruled out completely. For example, if this carbon dioxide comes in contact with carbon, again, it can lead to a very poisonous gas, carbon monoxide. That possibility is ruled out because now what you have is relatively a very clean fuel. So making use of hydrogen as a fuel is said to be a game changer for our country, and the work is in progress in this regard as well. Then there is, of course, the usage of the fuel cells, making use of the electrochemical cells, where we make chemistry into action. There are different cells that we make using, let's say, copper, zinc, and generate electricity. Now, that is also a tremendous way of reducing this carbon dioxide. So carbon footprint here also will go down, and fuel cell can again be a great source of energy. But what are the challenges? Well, there are umpteen challenges like, of course, setting up the infrastructure, taking care of the policies, because all of these are relatively very new sources of energy. So not enough policy making has been done in this regard. So we can say that the cost is high for the development, for the setting up of the power plants, because the technology is relatively new. Yeah. Okay. So infrastructure issues are there. There are policy inconsistencies. And of course, you require the technique. You require the knowledge. You require the skill to set a power plant like that. So there are challenges. But the day is not far when we will be completely sustainable and depending on just the renewable resources and not on the depleting resources. With this, let me also let you know that Universal Group of Institutions is coming up with a great number of courses. You can check in the description the umpteen integrated degree courses that our college is offering. Do check it out. With this is me, Nitika, signing off.